Are you a business leader or entrepreneur that has failed to get and more importantly stay in fantastic shape? Because if this is you, what I'm about to take you through, my brand new Kirk Miller podcast, is exactly how to get and more importantly stay in the best shape of your life. You might be thinking, who am I? Why should I listen to this guy? Well, simply put, I specialize in helping some of the most successful people on the planet to get in the best physical, mental shape of their life and unleash from within confidence they never thought possible. I've also been in shape for over 22 years. I've won a men's health cover model competition, had a couple of covers with Men's Health, had record covers with Men's Fitness, been a sponsored athlete, traveled around the world. Simply put, I've had a lifetime dedicated to health and fitness, but I've had many ups and downs throughout this. I'm 38 now, based in Dubai, been in London the last 3-4 years, and right now life's pretty good. I run a great business, in a great relationship, and I pride myself on being, for me, one of the most consistent people on the planet when it comes to getting and staying in fantastic shape. But life didn't start out that way. I originate from a council estate in Coventry. Woke up at the age of 3. I couldn't move my legs. Got told by a specialist all I'd ever do was swim. Had aspirations to be a footballer. So you imagine that literally broke my heart at the time. But I came through adversity, made it as a professional footballer at Coventry City, albeit not to the next level, and then dedicate myself to simply a life now of transforming people all around the world. And one of the things that I procrastinated over for a long time now is when to start a podcast. And in truth, just like I'd say to clients or any of you guys maybe watching who have maybe put off starting their health and fitness journey, there's no perfect time. There's no perfect time to start your health and fitness journey. There's no perfect time to start a podcast. But I feel, after thinking about this for a long time, it really is now the perfect time to share a lifetime of experiences, lessons, basically my expertise in helping people get in the best shape of their life, because there's so many things out there that can make the journey confusing. You know, if you've struggled to maintain consistency with how you look, how you feel, your level of confidence, your energy, maybe your eating habits, there's so much information out there and it can be very confusing. So my intention with this channel is to tell you the exact truth with ruthless honesty about what it actually takes to get and, more importantly, stay in fantastic shape, because anyone can get in shape for 4 weeks, 8 weeks, 12 weeks. And a lot of people come to me having maybe achieved that in their life. But for me, it's absolutely pointless if you can't create lasting change. And it's absolutely pointless if maybe you get in fantastic physical shape, but you don't have the confidence and the mindset upgrade with that. Because I've been that guy on the front cover of a Men's Health where, you know, the perception from the outside is that life is great. You know, I'm on the shelves of magazines, obviously social media following, etc. grew from that, but I was emotionally fragile. I didn't have the emotional conditioning alongside the physical body alongside that. So my goal is to not only help you remove limitations from your mindset and expand your belief systems, but more importantly, tell you exactly what it takes to look great, feel great, and be in total control of your emotions with that too. Because for me, life is all about living life on your own terms, becoming the person you've always been capable of, and contributing as much as you physically can along the way. And what's going to help you do that is if you are truly happy with how you feel internally, with your feelings, and externally with how you look. Okay? So without further ado, I'm going to get into today's episode, which is how to get in the best shape of your life. With this podcast, I have no intention of it being scripted. I'm not very good when it comes to following scripts. I speak from the heart, I speak with truth, I speak with passion. Yes, I will have bullet points for certain episodes because I want to protect your time as much as possible, because I can go off on a tangent sometimes, and with so much experience, 22 years plus in this field, I want to try and keep the episodes as concise as possible in relation to the subject and the topic that I'm here to talk about. So without further ado, what I'm going to take you through today is the exact steps of how to look look fantastic, feel fantastic, and more importantly, have certainty with your health, your fitness, your mindset. Because if you're not where you want to be just now, with maybe your body fat, with your strength, with your confidence, there are certain fundamental steps that you need to take in a specific order. So not only do you see progress in that first 4 weeks, in that first 8 weeks, but more importantly, you create lasting change. Like my main core program at the minute with my business is Built to Last, which is exactly what it says on the tin. For me, I want to keep people in shape year round. So you're not having that up and down yo-yoing with your emotions, with your weight, and you've got consistency throughout the year. Okay? So the first thing we need to do is to create structure. And what I'm going to share with you is 7 steps that are going to help you do that. Creating structure for me at the start of your health and fitness journey, or having structure simply, even if you're sort of midway through, or you're just at a place where maybe you're sort of in the shape you want to, but you want to maintain that. Structure for me is everything. Every single client who's ever first joined my program, the one thing they always crave is structure. Because generally, if you're feeling inconsistent with your health and fitness, is feeling inconsistent with your eating habits, you feel a bit reactive with your behavior, then you need an element of structure to fix that. Okay? So I'm going to go through 7 steps that are going to help you create that. And this is going to make up a large brunt of today's talk. All right? So step 1, just like in business, you need to know exactly where you are right now. You need to know exactly where you are right now. You need to understand what's already influencing you. You need to get really clear in your mind how happy or not you are with certain areas, such as your mindset, your confidence, your body, your fat loss, your energy. Like if I was to say to you on a scale of 1 to 10 just now, how happy are you with your mindset, your confidence? How happy are you out of 10 with your physical body, your level of body fat? How happy out of 10 right now are you with your level of energy? Because for me, unless you can say with transparency that you are maybe 7 out of 10 or above, then we're leaving potential and, more importantly, happiness on the table. Because a lot of people come to me, who are smashing it in business. They might have a great family, but if you're not happy with your level of body fat, you're not quite as confident with how you feel, or with how you look, and you're not in control of you as much as you might be in control of your business, then why wouldn't you explore trying to be better? But the first step we need to do is explore exactly where we are right now. You need to understand what's already influencing you, because until we get clear on what's influencing us and where we are, we don't know what we need to do to take us forward. Okay, so first of all, get clear. Where are you? And then step 2, just like again you would do in business, where are you now? Step 2 is, where do you want to be? Get clear with where do you want to be. You must have a goal, a vision, a target to aim for. And it must empower you. You must associate a positive feeling that result will give you. Because if it's just simply a metric, for example, of I want to drop 20 pounds or I want to drop 10 pounds, I want to be a little bit more confident, it's flaky, it's not strong, it's just a stat rather than a feeling, and you're less likely to follow through. So get really, really clear. Where am I right now? But more importantly, where do I want to be in 1 year? Where do I want to be in 30 days? Okay, and step 3 is, and this for me is the most important thing to constantly draw back on, and it's the heartbeat of my mission really, is establish the why. Establish the why. Anyone who ever first comes to me wanting to transform their body, upgrade their mindset, elevate confidence, performance and focus, etc., I'm always asking why. Because even though I'm going to share with you today other metrics that you need in terms of like food, training, all that sort of stuff, in terms of obviously physically transforming your body, your motivation will dip, especially over a calendar year. And that's why it's so important you need a strong why. Because if I was to say to you, tell me an area of your life, and for most people maybe watching this, it's probably a career or maybe a family that you feel is going supremely well. You know, you feel an expert in that field. You feel like you've mastered that area. You feel you've grown immensely. You've followed through. You've been consistent. I can pretty much guarantee you had a strong why. You had a strong why. And what I mean by why is, if you're watching this and maybe you are one of those people that would love to be in better shape, you'd love to have more confidence, love to have more energy, why is that important to you? What meaning, what benefit would that bring to your life? Okay? What impact would that have on maybe those you care about most? Maybe your family, your friends, your team. What influence would that have on your life? And secondly, what are the consequences? What are the consequences if you don't hit your target? Because when you're really, really clear and you have a strong why and you have a deeper meaning and you really, really explore the benefits of actually following through and hitting that target, you're more likely to follow through. And also, if you're really, really aware of the consequence and the pain, if you don't change, then again, it's going to be that motivator when you don't actually feel motivated. If you can remind yourself, what is the why? Why am I doing this? What is the pain if I don't change? And more importantly, what is the pleasure if I do follow through and do what I said I would do and actually stick to the plan, get the sessions in, eat the food, etc. You must have a strong why. Because again, I'll relate this to an area of your life maybe that you currently value even more potentially than your health and fitness. And for most people, it is business, making money. What were the consequences if you didn't achieve the status that you maybe do in your career? What was the pain if you didn't reach that standard? You didn't do that extra studying. You didn't put that extra work in. What was the pain? Because I guarantee there would have been a pain that when you didn't feel like doing that extra work or going the extra mile in your specific field, your fear of some form of negative impact on your life would have been the driver to potentially follow through. All right. And then on the flip side, of course, even with your career, I guarantee that by following through, it's probably opened up more opportunities. It's expanded your identity. You felt more important. You become more significant. And more importantly, it's allowed you to contribute and help people you care about most. You might have been able to provide nice things for your family, but you feel like you're up to something in life. And I feel a lot of people fail with their health and fitness goals, especially when people maybe 30, 35, 40 plus, which is typically the people I tend to work with, is they don't have enough clarity with how being healthier, fitter, more confident is going to impact the thing they value most. So really take some time with step 3 to establish, why is it important that I become healthier? Why is it important that I get in the best shape of my life? And how is that going to benefit my life? When you get clear on that, I guarantee that you're more likely to follow through. So just to recap on the first 3 steps, establish where you are now. More importantly, establish where you want to be. And then take as much time as needed to establish, why is it important that I do this? How is it going to improve the quality of my life? How is it going to improve the people that I care about most? How will it maybe improve my business, performance, focus, leadership, all these things? And what's the consequences if I don't follow through? If I don't, raise my standards with my health and fitness and my body. Okay. Step 4, energy out foundations. So the first 3 steps that I've gone through, they're obviously more related to mindset, clarity, really establishing, just like you would do when trying to build a business, where am I now? Where do I want to be? And what's the driver behind that? What's the motivation? What's the driving force? That's great. But that still isn't going to provide you with the detail and the things you need to do when it comes to moving, training, food, etc. So once you've established with razor sharp clarity your why, you must then get clear on energy out foundations, because when it's all said and done, the energy you consume in versus the energy you expend out is going to be the dictator of whether or not you physically change. We talk about these all the time inside my program, and obviously I have a fantastic team that help do what I do also, and they're known as the 6 core drivers. But for me to really simplify these steps, step 4, just establish your energy out foundations. And there's 2 main energy out foundations and sort of metrics that we need to focus on, and that's your training stimulus and your steps/movement. So what I mean by that is, you need to get clear on, right, what is my current training stimulus? How often are you training right now? How hard and effective are you training right now? Because you can have the biggest motivational force on the planet, but if you're not training hard, you're not training smart, and you're not training enough, and you don't need to live in the gym. I'll share this in future episodes. I'm a lot more effective with my time, and so are my clients now, because they're very busy with the training output. But in relation to you maybe improving your physical appearance, you're never going to do that if you're not training with enough intent and enough stimulus. So if you're going through these energy out foundations now, let me ask you a question. Do you feel confident that your current way of training and your current training intent, maybe the variability of your training, is going to move you forward to the body that you're trying to build? Okay. And for me, a great starting point to really simplify is look at what you're doing now, and do you need to train a little bit more? If you feel like you're training a little bit more, you're training plenty, do you need to train a little bit harder? Do you need to train with a bit more intensity? All right. And just look to improve with that core driver. Then if we look at steps and movement, especially if the goal is fat loss, right? You could be training 4, 5, 6 days a week in the gym, lifting with great intent, doing other methods of training. For example, I love Pilates, I love boxing now. I love doing my conditioning work alongside weights. But the amount you move or do not move over a 168 hour period, which obviously makes up a week, is going to play a large part of not just your fat loss, but how much food your body can consume in relation to getting and keeping that body fat off and getting and keeping you in great shape. So with your steps and your movement, assess first of all, what is my current weekly total, and am I moving as much as I could do? Is that going to bring me closer to the body fat or the body that I'm trying to build? And if it's not enough, where can I schedule more steps? For a lot of people, especially if you're a business owner, you're very busy, like a lot of my guys, sometimes doing big, long walks might not be the answer. You might need to schedule shorter 5-minute bursts every hour or two that they still mount up. Because one thing, and again, I'll do a separate episode on this, one of the biggest problems I think with a lot of high performers, business leaders, entrepreneurs is they have an all or nothing mentality, and they try to move and train with the same methods that they maybe used in their 20s or their teens or even early 30s. And the reality is priorities change, lifestyle changes, so you need to adapt. And that's one thing I've prided myself on over the years is, even though I'm 38 now, I've adapted my movement schedule, I've adapted my training schedule to evolve as I've aged. And that's exactly what I do with clients. So if you are struggling to get your steps in, you're struggling to get your sessions in with your energy out foundations, maybe you just need a different strategy and a different structure. Because one thing that you need to do if you're going to create lasting change, and this is why a lot of people only change short term, is you need a system that gets your movement in, gets your sessions in, that complements and doesn't complicate your lifestyle. And that may need to change over the course of the year, depending on different months. You might be traveling more certain months, for example. All right, so get clear on those 2 energy out foundations. All right, step 5, energy in metrics. Energy in metrics. If you notice here, I'm not talking about diet. For me, if you consider yourself on a diet, or you keep saying to yourself, oh, I'm on a diet now, I need a diet now, you're going to be constantly inconsistent. You're going to be on it. You're going to be off it. The way you need to look at your energy in is more, think of more like food management. think of food management, because I think the stats are staggering on how many people can actually stick to a diet plan. Unless you want to live out of a Tupperware for years, which I haven't had a Tupperware in 4 years, then it's simply unsustainable, especially if you want a social life, especially if you need to travel with your business, for example. So look at energy in metrics more in relation to food management, and we have a couple of areas within energy in metrics that we need to think about, and that's food quality and food quantity. And I'll speak a little bit about protein, the importance of high protein too. But how well you manage your food quantity and food quality, for me, having transformed so many people, is going to be the biggest thing that is going to help you get in great shape and stay in great shape or not. For me, food quality in particular, mastering this as early as you can, is the most important thing to focus on when it comes to your food. Because if you eat higher food quality, and what I mean by that is less added sugar, less processed food, you're going to be able to eat more food volume per calorie. And if you want sustainable fat loss and you want to be sustainably lean, fit, strong, etc., being able to eat more food size per calorie is going to help you do that. So look at your food and look at the quality of the food and think, am I eating heavily processed food diet? Am I eating too much added sugar? Look at your food as like a map and go, what's making the biggest dent in my calories, but isn't taking long to eat? All right. Look at my food and go, how much of my food is, when I look in the back of a packet, it's got hundreds of ingredients, and how can we eat a little bit less of these? All right. And this won't just affect how you look, but you'll notice a massive jump up in energy when you eat high quality food. And then in relation to obviously getting and staying in great shape, this isn't magic what I'm about to tell you, but it's going to largely dictate how much calories or not you eat. How much calories or not you eat, because you're never going to be able to get fat off and keep it off if you don't control your calories. You can't drop fat without being a calorie deficit, which for me, if you jump back to the Energy Out foundations, why it's so important to train with intent, train with plenty of volume, and try and create as much movement in your day as you can, it's going to allow you to, again, eat more food. So look at your food quality, look at your food quantity. If you're not dropping body fat, you need to move more, train with more intent, or look at reducing your calories subtly. And don't try and make massive drops in your calories, because that, for me, just promotes binging. So many people on this earth, like some of my clients when they first kick off, they're great at eating really healthy Monday to Thursday, and then come Friday, Saturday, Sunday, the wheels are off. You go to shit. Before you know it, you're waking up on Monday feeling like a sack of shit because you've gone too low with your calories Monday to Thursday. And look, there are clever ways to manipulate calories, which I'll do, in a separate episode again. So you can still eat more food at the weekend, etc., without compromising your performance during the week. And then just lastly on energy in metrics, this is more so within your food quantity and within your food quality. Protein, focus on protein. I find that a lot of people who struggle with building a great body, they simply don't eat enough protein. And this just doesn't affect, of course, your ability to build muscle, preserve muscle. But if you're too low in protein, the reality is you're only going to probably snack and overeat on added sugar, processed food anyway. Whereas the beauty of protein, if you're eating plenty of protein, you're going to fill yourself up a little bit more, and it's going to curb the cravings. Because this is one of the things that, of course, people fall victim to, is cravings kick in when they're stressed, they're tired, they're bored. But if you've got plenty of protein in, then you're less likely to let that negative emotion influence your eating decisions. So focus on those three things when it comes to step 5, your energy in metrics. As how well you manage energy out versus energy in is going to be the byproduct of how you look physically, is the outcome. Step 6 is health essentials. And there for me, your sleep, your water, these are fundamental, not just to build a great body, but to life. How well you manage your sleep is going to dictate how well you eat, how hard you train, your level of energy. So If you sleep better, you perform better, you eat better, you train better. It's something I never used to value because I couldn't see it. It didn't really become a priority in my life until I ruptured my bicep, and then my should become a must. And all of a sudden, then you do what you need to do when it comes to sleep. All right. And then water, it's fundamental to survive, even more so than food. But what you'll generally find as well is if you are trying to, again, eat better, manage your calories, a lot of the time you may be dehydrated. So rather than when you think you're hungry, you're not actually hungry. It's going to be a lack of water that you actually need in that moment. Okay, and also you can never train with enough intent and intensity if you're not drinking enough water. Okay, so steps, just to recap, steps 4, 5, and 6, they're basically your core drivers: energy out metrics, your energy in metrics, and your health essentials. They make up your 6 core drivers. And then step 7, manage expectations. I think this isn't just the formula for success with your health and fitness and building a great body. This is generally the formula for happiness. A failure to manage expectations, for me, is the number one reason why you'll experience a negative emotion. Because if you think about it, if I was to say to you, tell me an area of your life that you feel is going fantastically well, I can guarantee that your vision, your target, your blueprint, your perception of how life should be in that area and your living conditions are aligned. So you're going to be happy. But if you're maybe not happy with how you look, how you feel, your level of confidence, your energy, I can guarantee that your perception of how you'd love to be, your dream target in relation to how you're actually living and showing up on a day-to-day basis with your actions, your thoughts, your feelings, your day-to-day behavior are not aligned. So what we need to constantly do, and this is what we do inside the Built to Last program, is assess. It could be monthly, could be weekly, could be even daily if you want to magnify it on that level. But you need to assess, right, what is my target? And are my living conditions, are my energy in metrics, are my energy out metrics, okay? Are they in line with, what I'm trying to achieve? Are they in line with what I'm trying to achieve? Because that for me is crucial if you're going to manage expectations and manage your progress. The more you can manage your expectations, okay, the greater chance you're going to be in control of which direction you move forward with your goal, your quest, of course, to build a great body. All right, so they're the steps, 7 steps that will create structure continually when it comes to building a dream body. And the next point I want to talk about is it's okay being aware of these things, okay, from a mindset perspective, a why, core drivers, all that sort of stuff, managing expectations. But as you may have found before, you may have transformed for 4 weeks, 8 weeks, 12 weeks, 6 months, even a year, at some point. But if you've not been able to sustain success and progress month to month, year to year for a number of years, then it's usually us failing to continually raise standards. Okay. So one thing I suggest, and we do this inside our program, is every 30 days as a minimum, revisit the 7 steps. Revisit those 7 steps and realign yourself with your why, your consequences, your drivers, your motivation, and assess your core drivers, your energy in, your energy out metrics, obviously your health essentials, and your expectations. Assess yourself each 30 days and go, right, do I need to raise my standards? Do I need to raise my standards? How can I improve my food? How can I improve my training? How can I improve, my sleep? But you need to assess these, because if we don't, and we don't look to raise standards, then we go backwards. All right. And once you've established structure and you've raised standards, you need to, again, just try and operate with a non-negotiable consistency mindset. You need to operate with a non-negotiable consistency mindset, because one of the things I've prided myself on, and obviously help clients achieve the same, is ruthless consistency. It's a bit like having a business that does a great month a great year even, but they can't sustain it. Okay. It all boils down to consistency. So once you've achieved a certain level with your body that you're happy with, or at least you're in the pursuit of it, you need to condition the new standards and the new behavior. Okay. That's how it becomes part of your identity, which was going to be my next point. For you to really create lasting change and to get and stay in the best shape of your life, you need to see it as a part of you. You need to see it and believe it when you tell yourself, I am lean, I'm in great shape, I'm in control of my eating. It has to be as literally as simple and normal as drinking a glass of water. And to do that, we need to condition the new behaviors. You need to condition the new beliefs. You need to condition the new habits, which is why for me, saying I'm on a diet or I have to get 2-3 sessions in, whatever it may be, you're on borrowed progress. So we have to condition it and see it as part of us and part of our identity. You know, and just in relation to identity, one other thing that's going to create lasting change and allow you to stay in fantastic shape is you need to continually expand your identity. Again, if I was to say to you, tell me an area of your life that you truly feel in control, you see yourself as an expert, you see yourself as important, I can guarantee you've continually learnt more in that area and then mastered that skill. Okay, so continually look to expand your identity, and to do that, we need to avoid complacency. So many people transform in short bursts, but then fall backwards because they haven't looked to continually expand identity, which is why, you know, having a training program that is interesting to you, you know, having, you know, a self-evaluation process with your food, etc., to make sure that it's continually improving you is so important, because I don't think there's no such thing really, having been in shape now for so many years, as sort of standing still. I think generally when people get stuck and old habits creep back in with eating, with drinking, or whatever the problems were that created the lack of shape in the first place, it's because we've got complacent, you know, with the habits that have created the progress. All right. So we need to continually expand our identity and avoid complacency. And then one other thing that supports lasting change, and this is why I think it's so important who you surround yourself with, who you listen to, and how you set yourself up on a daily basis, and that's environment. If you've reached or want to reach a new standard with your body, with your health, with your fitness, with your habits, you need an environment which supports the changes that you've made, that is aspirational, and people within that environment have the traits that are going to keep you healthy, keep you strong. You know, because a lot of people who are stuck with trying to build a great body, trying to operate with confidence, more energy, is they surround themselves with people who don't value that. So you need to make sure that if you do truly want to get and stay in fantastic shape, that you are around people that value that. Because I firmly believe, you know, your environment shapes you. You choose your environment will create you. You know, there's some fantastic quotes out there. One of my favorite books that I've read, James Clear, is The Invisible Hand That Shapes Your Behavior. So if we are trying to raise standards forever with our body, our health, our fitness, and more importantly, our mindset, then we need to operate in an environment which supports the standards that we want to continually live with. All right? And just coming towards the end now, and I really appreciate your time listening to this, but just in summary, I wanted to leave you with 3 powerful questions. 3 powerful questions, because for me, asking ourselves better questions creates better actions, creates better habits, and creates a better outcome, in short. If you ever feel stuck throughout your journey, or you feel a bit stuck of where to start, for me, these 3 questions are going to help get clarity and help change that in that moment. So number 1 is, why is it important? Why is it important I change? Why is it important I am in the best physical and mental shape of my life? Ask yourself that question, because as I say to my clients, your motivation will dip. There'll be some days you can't be asked to train. There'll be some days you don't want to eat healthy. There'll be some days your old beliefs want to creep back in and you tell yourself you can't do it. All right? But ask yourself, why is it important that you don't think like this? Why is it important that I follow through on this? Number 2, in relation to getting in fantastic shape, ask yourself, who's it helping me become? Who's it helping me become? Rather than focus on a metric of, I need to drop 20 pounds or fit into that suit, whatever your reason is for doing this, asking yourself, who is it helping me become by getting in fantastic shape? Is it helping me become a better businessman? Is it helping me become a better father, a better partner, a better friend, a better influence than every single person I'm trying to help and influence? Because it's a much more powerful question that's going to get you connected to doing the habits to influence the result. So ask yourself, who is it helping me become? And following on from that, how is it helping me contribute more? Because as I said towards the start of this podcast, life for me is all about who you become and how much you can contribute. Generally speaking, when we achieve something fantastic, one, yes, we feel good, but deep down, we love the influence it has, whether it's on our team, whether it's on our family. So in relation to trying to get in fantastic shape, the best shape of your life, ask yourself, how is it helping me contribute more? What difference is it allowing me to make that I can't do if I'm not healthy, that I can't do if I'm not in great shape? I can't do if I've not got, a lot of energy. So ask yourself, why? Why is it important? Who's it helping me become? And how will getting and staying in fantastic physical, mental shape and living more confidence, how will it help me contribute more? All right. So I know that was a little bit heavy. It was pretty much just an overview. But for me, if you can continually assess and evaluate the 7 steps to create structure, really be careful of your environment, really look to continually expand your identity and ask yourself better questions on a daily basis, you'll be that person that finally shakes off that inconsistency, that yo-yoing, to maintain great shape, great confidence, and more certainty with your mindset. And just what's the difference that makes across all the things you value most, which is probably career, family. When you look after you, you're able to look after other people and things you care about most to such a high level. All right. So thank you so much for listening. My goal, as I said at the start with this podcast, is to remove all limitations of what's possible. It doesn't matter how many times you've failed before, how many times you've nearly got towards your goal. It's my absolute mission, just like with my clients, to provide as much value and insights and experiences as possible so you become consistent, you live life on your own terms, and you have a deeper awareness of what you need to do to look and feel the way you want to. All right? So that concludes my first episode. I'm so grateful to you listening to me. I promise to get even stronger with these episodes. And just a heads up, the next episode is something that is going to be the most honest episode that I'm ever going to produce. Being an ex-men's health cover model winner, I'm going to share some truths that even my mother hasn't heard. Because one of the beauties of this podcast, and I've not been able to do before, whether it me being affiliated with certain sponsors, is one of the intentions from this is to tell the absolute truth. Because yes, now I might be in shape, I've got a great business, and life's going pretty good. There's certain things I want to share in my next episode that will super transparent. I think they're going to add a lot of value, and just to be super relatable in telling you that life isn't going to always be smooth. You do have knockbacks, but it's how you react and how you bounce back that's so important. So thank you so much for listening, and I'll see you next time.